In the past, I've talked about the joy of selling and reselling things on eBay. And tonight I wanted to show you that really there's a book that you can read. It's called 20 Questions to Ask Before Selling on eBay by Lisa McGrath. I don't know her, but this is a book that's in my library. So what I want to show is that I use a regular pocket camera. I'm sure everybody has one of these. And I shot this video to explain what I was talking about. First of all, let's get your mind at ease by talking about what we're not going to be talking about. We're not going to be talking about photography. We're not going to be talking about near point, far point, that is depth of field. We're not going to be talking about aperture or shutter speed and the relationship to correct exposure. We're not going to be talking much anyway about lighting. We're not going to be talking about main light and fill lights and hair light, any of that. We're not going to be talking about composition. Not the classical S, not the rules of third, not the triangle, not color balances, none of that. And of course, we're not going to be talking about color temperature, the Kelvin scale, the difference between daylight and indoor lighting. None of all that. What we're going to be talking about is how to get a decent picture to get onto eBay. And that basically is to get a seamless background and to fill your frame with your object, your subject. That basically is it. The paper that you see in this particular photograph was purchased at the dollar store. It's a poster board, white poster paper, 6 to 9 cents, and it makes the perfect background for shooting your pictures. Now let's talk about this Eli henna piece that cost me 75 cents. Once you have your seamless background, what is important is to get your subject matter to fill the frame as much as possible. You don't want to have a lot of empty space. And what is important is to make sure that you have as little shadows as possible. I'll tell you, a good place to shoot pictures, close-up pictures like this, is on your stove, using the light over your stove. Just make sure that it's a bulb, that it represents daylight. In other words, daylight lighting. That's always good. You also want to think like a buyer. In other words, what are the areas of interest to the buyer, and shoot a lot of close-ups of those particular areas. Take a very good look at what your material is, what your subject is, and shoot to satisfy the curiosity of the buyer. In this particular piece, for example, maybe you want to shoot close-up of the face, the coat itself, maybe the boots, whatever. Shoot close-ups. As for what do you sell on eBay, you must see yourself as the center of your universe. The decisions that you make must be based upon your own passion, the things that you like. That is really what is important, okay? Now, I happen to like vase or vase, depends on your pronunciation, because they're small, they're portable, I can photograph them, and they're easy to pack, easy to ship. I am lazy. Basically, I'm a very lazy person. You must decide for yourself. With small items, of course, detail is extremely important. So you must always try to shoot close-ups as close as you can get. Now, there are two ways to do that. You can get as close as you can with the camera, or you can back off and then zoom into the subject and then shoot the pictures that way. Those are the two ways. Chances are your camera can do both. Earlier, I said that you have to think like the buyer. You must show in detail what the buyer would be interested in. You have to think like the buyer. So I'm showing the details of this particular vase or vase, and if the buyer interested in this particular item can see the detail clearly. Now, there's a very big difference between cost and value. I paid $1.98 for this item. And by the way, before you sell an item, be very sure you remove price tags or anything that would indicate what the price was. Because, as I said, people will almost always mistaken the value of something based upon its cost. Okay, that's the way we were brought up. When I buy something like a vase or a vase, I try to look at the bottom of it because I want to know if the creator was so proud of his work that he placed his name on it. That's important to me. Obviously, if you're going to be selling on eBay, you're going to make very sure that you've done your homework. You'll check eBay and the prices of different items, correct? Okay, so that said, sometimes you'll see an item that really you have no idea of its value, but you happen to like that piece. This is exactly what happened to me with this item. I have no idea what its value is. All I know is that I paid 75 cents for it because I liked it. One of the reasons why I liked it, of course, because of the cameo. As I said, I've been to the cameo factory. I know how they're made. Now, whether this is a real cameo or not, I'm not an expert. I cannot tell. But I do like the design, and I like the idea that the cameo is on this particular piece. Now, earlier I said that with me, I look at the bottom of each object to make sure to see what is made, who made it, where it's made, that sort of information. In this particular instant, this thing was from Mount Clemens Pottery. I have no idea what that is. I just happen to like the piece. Now, chances are my 75 cents was way too much to pay for this piece, but it doesn't matter because this particular piece I'm going to save, I'm going to keep, simply because it brings back memories of Italy. That's all. So there is no cost to it, but there's a lot of value to it, to me. In buying small objects, small items, I always try to get something that's unique. First of all, I like material. I like objects that are built out of real material. I don't care for plastic at all. This particular item was built in Portugal. Someone in Portugal built this, and I just love it because of how unique it is. As you can see, it is flat on one side and extremely narrow on the other side. And when I talked about shooting detail, this is what I'm talking about. It's very, very flat on this side, but I thought it was very important to show the details from top to bottom. Now, you're not going to pan up because you're not talking about videos, but you're going to shoot still photographs showing the different aspects of any given item. I like the way this thing is designed. I just do. I also think that when you shoot pictures, you want to give as much information as possible. Here, I shot a picture of the bottom so that the viewer, the buyer, would have as much information as possible. I'm not a collector. I just happen to like things that I like. Perhaps a collector will see the bottom and say, this is a piece that's missing from my collection, and therefore they will probably want to buy it. That's an assumption on my part, of course. Finally, let's talk about extremely small pieces. And once again, details. I shot a close-up of it, as close as I could get, so that the individual who's interested in a piece like that could see it in detail. That is very, very important. Now, you have no idea how big it is, so therefore what I did, in one of the pictures that you post, you should put a familiar object. In this case, I'm placing a penny in the picture. The penny is not important, so it's out of focus. What is important is the item. That is in sharp focus, you see? Well, that's it for today. I hope that somehow I did impart some knowledge, and if there If there's a question that I did not answer, please write to me and I'll be glad to answer your question. Thank you very much for watching and for sharing my videos. Finally, I said that earlier, but this time I mean it. Finally, this is an excellent book to purchase if you're going to be buying and selling on eBay, whether you're doing it for profit or just for the fun of it. This is an excellent book, and all you have to do is go to my site, click on the Amazon banner, type in the title, and order the book. That's it. 3 things you should remember always, right? Make sure that you're shooting your pictures in an area with even lighting, even if it's in the kitchen. Make sure the lighting is even. Number 2, clean your items very well. And number 3, remove any price tags that may be on the item. In the meantime, thank you so very much for watching my videos. Until the next time, take care.